Guys, what is going on? It is Nate the Game Guy coming back with another video, and today I'm going to give you guys a bunch of game room display tips that you just don't really hear about. Now, all these display tips that I'm about to share, these are all things that I have done at one point or another right here in the game room to help for everything to just look a little bit better and just have everything be a little bit more organized, but also display it better. So of course, right here, some of these things I have taught myself, and others I've heard from a few game collectors, but not very many game collectors. So of course, in this video, we're going to take a look at some of these display tips that I've got to share with you guys today and see if these are things that you'll want to try yourself in the game room. So without further ado, let's dive right into this video subject and take a look at some of my display tips that I've got to share today, right here in this video, right after the intro. So the first tip that I want to share right here in this video is something definitely unexpected, and I got to keep the video interesting, so why not start with something unexpected? So my unexpected first tip that I've got to make your game room to be even better when it comes to displaying things is to start using fishing line. And I know, pretty unexpected, right? But what I mean by using fishing line when it comes to displaying things in your game collection or in your game room is I've got certain sections right here in my collection where sometimes I want to display something and I don't want it to fall or tip over, get broken, get damaged. I don't want any of that, right? So what I like to do is I have this clear fishing line. Is say I'll tie it to one end of a shelf or something else that I know is going to hold it up, protect it, all that. And I'll then do is then tie the fishing line around whatever I'm trying to hold up, and essentially it just prevents whatever I'm trying to display or hold or whatever from falling. It's done a phenomenal job right here in the game room, keeping everything to be more display friendly, more organized. I really love that I did come up with this idea. And of course, I'm going to give a link in the description down below of which exact fishing line that I use to display some of my things right here in the game room. And thank goodness for my fishing hobby outside of YouTube, because that's what helped me come up with this idea right here. So now I get to share it with you guys to hopefully make your game rooms even more display friendly. So the next tip that I want to share with you guys is to start using picture stands for your handhelds, different items, whatever the case may be. Now, of course, using the figurines of the characters that can hold your controllers, that's certainly an option too. But, you know, if you do want to do things a little differently, you can use these picture stands that are normally used to hold like small pictures and frames to hold up some of your handhelds, different collectibles, and all that wonderful stuff. Now, thankfully, that is a tip that I learned many years ago now at this point from another game collector called Pete Dorr. Now, when it comes to different display tips and just watching many different YouTube videos over the years, I've noticed that he's really the only one, at least from what I've seen, of different game collectors that actually use picture stands and all that when it comes to displaying different things within a game room or a game collection, right? So of course, I'm going to be a parrot and repeat what Pete said right here in this video, and that is start using picture stands for some of your stuff right here in the game room. Right now, as you guys can see at this point, it is displaying my Game Boy Advance, which I've got to say, I like how it looks. I like how it's displayed. Now, of course, I've had different things displayed on picture stands over the years, but with my current layout, I've got my Game Boy Advance where it is at right now. So hopefully that might spark an idea for some of you guys watching this video. Now, of course, as we are moving along, this is something that I definitely took the initiative with doing right here in my own personal game room, and that is consider building some of your own shelving right here for your own game room. Now, almost all the shelving in my game room has all been custom made. That's right, I made almost every single shelving unit right here in the game room. I took the time building it, I took the time sanding it, painting it, all that. Like, each shelf took me about a month or two to make. So that should tell you right there just how dedicated I am to making sure that my game room is as awesome as it possibly can be. Now, of course, the Billy shelves that you can get at IKEA that a lot of game collectors like, that's of course a great option as well. But with my personal collecting goals and displaying things, right, I like to have adjustable shelves where I personally made these shelves to be adjustable because there's so many games that come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. After all, the loose Super Nintendo games are going to be much smaller than the big box, complete in box Sega Saturn titles. And of course, if I'm going to be rearranging things for every now and then in the game room, it's definitely going to help me having shelves that are adjustable. Now, I have seen adjustable bookshelves with adjustable shelves that you could buy online. I personally couldn't find any that I liked, which was why I decided to make my own shelving. Now, of course, I'm not going to give a tutorial on how to build a bookshelf and how to make adjustable shelves, because all the resources that you need can be found on YouTube if you just decide to look up how to make a bookshelf or how to make adjustable shelves, right? The tips are out there, the tutorials are out there if you want to go into that type of woodwork and all that. But of course, when it comes to displaying things right in your game room, you don't necessarily have to buy a store-bought bookshelf or shelf or just really any type of furniture. You know, sometimes you can be creative too, just like how I decided to do with these bookshelves. Now, of course, before I move on to the next tip, I do want to say it's very, very crucial to make sure that you get the painting and, of course, the polyurethane to be as proper as it can be, because some of my games unfortunately got ruined while creating some of these bookshelves when I used the improper paint and polyurethane. I won't go into my full story right here, but I'll leave a link to another video right here that you guys can check out, so that way you guys do get a little bit of a better story of what exactly happened right here in my game room. Now, of course, this is a great one that I love sharing with you guys, and that is start using cardboard for some of your shelving. Now, I'm not talking about the cardboard that I've got on some of my shelves right here, as you guys can see with some of my Switch games and all that, but instead what I'm talking about is using cardboard on the tops of shelves where, say you've got a bookshelf that's up against the wall, but it's not necessarily going up against the wall completely, most likely because there's a baseboard that's blocking it or whatever. So what I'll do is I'll use a little bit of some cardboard and cut it up and make sure that it fits the size of my shelf and it covers the gap. So that way I've got extra room to display different things right here in the game room. This is definitely something that has helped me out quite a bit when trying to fit more things onto the tops of my bookshelves to help everything look nice, and I can display even more items right here in the game room. Now, I'm not going to explain right here why I've got cardboard on some of my shelves for some of my games, because it's also mentioned in the exact same video that I shared from before when it comes to just what exactly went wrong with some of my bookshelves. But again, if you really want to know what happened, obviously I linked the video from before, but honestly, guys, please do consider using some cardboard on top of your bookshelves. It'll make things be able to display more things, and you don't really have to worry about things falling behind from the bookshelves. Now, of course, please be sure to use some common sense. Make sure that we've got stuff displayed on top of that cardboard, that it's heavy enough and placed in the proper position, that, you know, the weight distribution is even enough, so that way you don't have to worry about flimsy cardboard not necessarily protecting some of those things. Honestly, it's a great idea. I strongly encourage that you guys do the same with some of your own game collections and game rooms. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. Please be sure to check out these videos here, here, and here. After all, I post a lot of content when it comes to game collecting tips, and other video game related subjects. So be sure to keep an eye out every Monday and Friday where I upload consistently, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.